Shigaraki versus Mahito.
The symbol of fear versus the human disaster curse.
He's Wiz and I'm Boomstick.
And it's our job to analyze their weapons, armor, and skills to find out who would win a death battle. Tenko Shimura was just a sweet, shy boy who loved superheroes.
But sometimes the hand of fate can't abide sweet shy boys.
Ruthlessly beaten and abused by his hero-hating father, Tenko pushed beyond his emotional limits until he activated his inherent superpower, or quirk.
It wasn't something cool like flight or super strength. In his terror, he accidentally killed his whole family. Well, except for dear old dad. That one was intentional.
Tenko wandered the streets alone, silently begging for someone, anyone, to help him. If only a hero was there to save him. But instead, the only open hand he found belonged to the devil.
All for one. The greatest supervillain in history.
He took Tenko under his wing, feeding a hatred of everyone and everything, and grooming him to one day lead his league of villains in destroying hero society.
With that came a new name, Tomura Shigaraki, and an absolutely nightmarish quirk, Decay. It does what it says on the tin. Anything Shiggy touches with all 5 fingers turns to dust. The perfect power for someone who just wants to destroy. Pretty menacing, if not for that dorky-ass costume. I get it, hands are his thing, but come on, they just look so dumb and fake.
Oh, those aren't prosthetics. Those are real hands from his family that he killed, attached to his face, and explicitly commanded to be left there by his mentor so that he would never forget his rage.
Okay.
While his use of decay started off relatively weak, it rapidly increased in
All right,
power
my
and
bad,
range
y'all.
as
I
Shigaraki
guess
came
my
into his
mic was
own.
not
Decay
connected.
isn't even limited to whatever he's touching. Anything that touches something he's decaying also decays.
Spreading like an all-consuming
So, y'all didn't hear me. Let's do it over. It's your boy, the Vampire King himself, London VK Alucard, and we're doing a reaction to Shigaraki versus Mahito in a death battle. Now,
miasma that can wipe out anything from an enormous tower to an entire city.
If
Damn.
decay reaches you, your only hope is to isolate the body part that is disintegrating before it gets to something vital.
After
So
years of
basically,
training
like,
with the
it's
greatest
basically like
supervillain of all
how it is in Walking Dead, where like when a walker bites you, you start turning, but you can cut the symptom off on a different limb. Like, so if they bite you in the arm, if you sever your arm, you'll be good. Or the same with your leg, or like a body part. So it's the same way with his.
time, Shigaraki was finally put in charge of his own team with one mission. He must kill his master's rival, the #1 hero, All Might.
Only to fall flat on his face.
Shigaraki was a terrible leader, quick-tempered, short-sighted, and, well,
Cringe. Oh, he's just so cringe. He uses gamer lingo unironically. He whines like a baby when things don't go his way. He's the kind of guy who would say normie in real life, in front of normies.
but they say defeat is the greatest teacher of all. Only through struggle could Shigaraki manifest his dark conviction.
Right as All Might's new protege, Izuku Midoriya, was coming into his own as well.
These two rivals, the inheritors of their master's blood feud, would push themselves past their own limitations.
Especially when All Might and All for One double KO'd each other, leaving Shigaraki to lead the League of Villains all by himself.
And with the stakes higher than ever before, Shigaraki stepped up. He
Carl never really thought much of his credit scores until he got Credit Karma and used.
Yeah, I can't wait for the new TV show. I haven't watched My Hero. I want to watch it eventually. I will. But I want to watch what is it? My Hero Vigilantes that's supposed to be coming out. I don't know when it's supposed to be coming out. I don't think they said a release date for it. Hey. These commercials, man. Oh, they should do the Easter Bunny for a death battle since we're in April for April Fools. Alright.
Gigantomachia for a month and a half straight and conquered other villain organizations to create the Paranormal Liberation Front. Thousands of new soldiers for his personal army.
All to impress All for One's personal quack, Dr. Ujiko, who spent months upgrading Shigaraki's body to make it more like his sensei's. It might have been constant agony, but Shiggy went from Chud to Chad.
Ujiko's experimentation vastly increased Shigaraki's strength, speed, and durability, enough to match and surpass even All Might's absurd power.
Sharing All Might's power between them, Deku and Bakugo were able to punch an island-sized hole in a cloud that reached 24 miles into the sky. We've calculated that before to be nearly 80 million megatons of TNT, almost as much as the meteor that wiped out the dinosaurs.
And Shigaraki can now move fast enough that his body produces hypersonic shockwaves and can even catch laser beams.
And he's tough enough to survive Star and Stripes' Intercontinental Ballistic Cruise Punch! Now the new name for my penis. Move over, gigantic Omega Storm. Anyway, it also made a blast so
wait,
big
there's a
it showed up
female
against the
All Might?
curvature of the Earth.
Though he might seem invincible, when Shigaraki's body is pushed hard enough, he will evolve into a state of uncontrollable power.
So Decay became, oh shit, more hands!
Shigaraki can spontaneously generate flesh into existence, seemingly oceans of it in an instant, whenever he wants. He can even use it as a type of armor to defend himself in close combat.
But that's nothing compared to Ujiko's greatest gift. Shigaraki wanted to be the new All for One, so what better way than the old man's quirk?
All for One's quirk, All for One, allows its user to steal and store quirks with just a touch.
And All for One has hundreds of them stored up, collected over the years.
Each quirk is connected to a memory of its user's essence in the form of a spirit, a vestige.
Kinda like a piece
So
of
do you
their
get
soul.
that memory?
They exist in this kinda psychic world in Shigaraki's body, and can even act as a spiritual defense should it be invaded.
And with those vestiges came quirks like super fast healing, air blasts, radio waves, flight, telekinesis, teleportation of others.
Now I want to
and the
know, does
ability
he
to
just
track
absorb
foes.
it, or
He
does
can
his
even
body
combine
transform
multiple quirks
with
together,
it?
like in this big-ass electric Kamehameha.
However, any vestige stolen or destroyed will also remove that quirk from Shigaraki's repertoire. They're also sentient, and some can even fight for control.
Which is when the second shoe finally dropped. Because Shigaraki also got All for One's vestige, that means All for One was now in possession of a shiny new body that he'd spent the last 15 years molding for him to take over.
Shigaraki's entire existence was planned from the beginning. Why? Because All Might's previous mentor was Nana Shimura, Tenko's grandmother.
Oh, that to mess with All Might. That is some next level hating right there.
He manipulated Shigaraki's entire life, all for one purpose: to create a soul so corrupted it would grind away at All Might's perfect world, allowing All for One to take full control.
But All for One's possession wasn't complete, and Shiggy managed to fight his way back to the top, literally decaying his way through vestiges in the process, all to fight his rival Deku one last time.
Despite Izuku's best efforts to save him, Shigaraki was too far gone. His spirit decayed by years of venomous hatred.
And the new symbol of hope defeated the new symbol of fear, burying All for One's grudge for good.
All that Shigaraki asked was to be remembered as the heartless destroyer he was raised to be, and not the broken, angry, crying little boy he really was deep inside.
For just that one moment, though, Shiggy got in Deku the only thing he'd been denied his whole life, the one thing his lifelong nihilistic tantrum was really all about. He got a hero who tried to save him. This battle is sponsored by Robin Hood Gold.
With
Feels bad, man.
Since Cain slew his brother Abel and wetted his fields with his blood, man's greatest fear has been his fellow man.
But what if this fear took on a life of its own?
What if all that negative emotion humans felt for one another spilled from their bodies and congealed, forming, over time, a living being fueled by malice, which believes in nothing but the law of the jungle?
Well, then you'd have the special grade curse with a patch face, Mahito.
Mahito.
Oh, I've had people tell me I've become a human disaster curse when I've had too many mojitos.
Mahito is one of the
Mahito,
deadliest beings to ever
aka
afflict mankind.
Patchface.
He's no mere mortal, though, but a cursed spirit. Innumerable spirits exist, weaker or stronger depending on the amount of anxieties, jealousies, hatreds, and fears humans feel about them.
Like the fear of locusts, kinda weak. Or the fear of smallpox, getting stronger. Or the fear of fire. Oh, goodbye, Tokyo.
So it follows that mankind's fear of itself would be extremely powerful. Those negative emotions manifest as Mahito, a being composed of cursed energy.
It's basically like evil ki. Cursed energy can be used to make spirits way stronger, faster, and tougher than any normal human. And it's invisible, making curses like Mahito impossible for the untrained eye to see. Only a life or death situation can galvanize a normal person to see a cursed spirit.
That also makes cursed spirits virtually immune to physical damage. They may be physically present in space, but can only be harmed by attacks that embody spirit matter like cursed energy.
Which makes curses insanely hard to get rid of, like ghosts, cockroaches, or my ex. That's why you need a jujutsu sorcerer to come in and kaizen the shit out of them. They call it exorcism, but I like the way I said it better.
Curses and sorcerers have battled each other for millennia, waging an endless war over the fate of humanity. Almost exclusively in Japan, though.
I like that
But
Naruto reference.
Mahito is special. You see, most curses are basically dumb animals, but Mahito has so much cursed energy that it gave him sentience.
So he was recruited by Kenjaku alongside other special grade disaster curses to wreak havoc upon the world. In fact, they made Mahito their leader.
And even more frightening than intelligence and bloodlust, Mahito possessed philosophy.
Perhaps informed by the tragic meaninglessness of interhuman conflict, Mahito is an existential nihilist, believing in nothing but his own will to power. It's a dog-eat-dog world, and Mahito is the wolf.
Which also makes him kind of a goofball. If nothing matters, why not have fun with the slaughter? Really get your steps in. He loves to dig around and toy with your emotions like a cartoon character before slitting your throat.
An appropriate analogy considering his curse technique, idol transfiguration.
Using his cursed energy, Mahito can control anyone's soul with just a touch, including his own. In fact, he's so good at manipulating his own soul that you can't even kill the bastard without directly targeting it.
In Jujutsu Kaisen, the soul and the body share an immutable connection. Whatever happens to the former affects the latter.
This lets Mahito squash, stretch, and shape-shift his body into literally anything he wants, like Play-Doh. He can turn his limbs into blades or clubs, grow wings like a bird or fins like a fish, reform his body around injuries, or even create
this man
clones.
sounds
Curse
OP
users
as
are
hell.
naturally unharmed by their own ability. Should he touch a human, though, his alterations to their body are instantly fatal.
Bro, that's
And
crazy.
since he's attacking your
Just imagine
soul,
you just
those
walk in and
physical
somebody
wounds are gonna
grabs
be
you,
impossible to
hurts you,
heal.
just like-
Even if his alteration isn't directly fatal, the human body won't last more than a few moments in a transfigured state.
All that with one touch.
Ooh, he
I
touched
thought
her face.
herpes was bad.
His powers mean Mahito treats humans as effectively disposable dolls that he can gleefully experiment on. The more casualties, the better, especially if he gets to break your spirit first and watch you suffer.
Even more twisted is when he combines two transfigured humans together for soul multiplicity, essentially a giant torrent of body horror flesh that he repels at an opponent. Ugh.
Mahito is unbelievably creative with his application of idol transfiguration, and despite being a newborn curse, consistently keeps experienced sorcerers on the back foot.
It helps that he's a quick
It's definitely
study
giving
who's
me the
picked
vibe
up a
of, Attack
number
on
of
Titan
different
with the
curse
creature.
techniques, like the
the
Black
Titan.
Flash.
By applying cursed energy within 1 microsecond of an impact with an enemy, space itself will distort, exponentially amplifying its force by a factor of 2.5.
Not only does this hurt like a mother, it restores your curse technique and gets you fully in the zone.
And would require
Auto
reflexes
zone.
moving nearly 1,000 times the speed of sound. It's no surprise then that Mahito also unlocked the pinnacle of sorcerer techniques, the domain expansion.
Oh shit! More hands! A domain is like a barrier of cursed energy, but if you're caught inside, Mahito can use idol transfiguration instantly without even needing to touch you.
It's called the self-embodiment of perfection, the ultimate expression of Mahito's absolute control over his victim's body and soul. The only time it ever failed was against the student sorcerer and Mahito's archenemy, Yuji Itadori.
Because not only was Yuji a barf-inducing goody little two-shoes who believed in the inalienable rights of all living things, blah, 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 he also had a curse inside of him.
The king of curses, Sukuna.
Which meant Mahito's ability affected both souls in Yuji's body. Sukuna didn't like that.
I got used to the feeling of rejection because my writing just wasn't up to par.
Yuji.
No surprise, and kicked Mahito's ass, forcing Patchface to fight with a handicap whenever facing his pink-haired menace.
Yuji's belief in the value of human life flew directly in the face of the world that Mahito knew to be cruel and meaningless. So he made it his mission to crush Yuji's spirit before killing him, murdering his friends, defiling their corpses, and brutally battering him before going in for the kill.
And he's got the strength to do it. Mahito's one of the most powerful curses in the world, and his growth is exponential.
Fellow disaster curse Jogo was able to summon a massive meteor capable of reducing the city of Shibuya to ash.
That'd take an energy of over 800 kilotons of TNT.
And Mahito can take as good as he can give, especially when, in the throes of struggle against Yuji, he evolved, unlocking a vastly more powerful form, the instant body of distorted killing.
Complete with armored exoskeleton and arm blades, this was a taste of the almighty curse Mahito was growing into, a true blight on all mankind.
It wouldn't last. In a bitter battle of resolve, Yuji won out. In a dog-eat-dog world, there was now a bigger wolf.
So he tucked tail and ran away like a bitch.
Damn.
Life suddenly became a whole lot more meaningful the second it looked like it was about to end.
All that gleeful nihilism, just a bitter hypocrisy in the end.
For him, maybe, but Mahito found a convert in his archenemy. After a battle that wiped out thousands of innocent people, Yuji's youthful spirit was gone. The only thing left that mattered was exorcising this curse.
In a way, that was Mahito's final victory, the destruction of another human being's soul. He may not have been around to see it, but the curse Mahito inflicted on the world would bring it to its knees.
Jeez Louise.
Hey, do you see that join button? Yeah, that one. That's your...
Oh, wait.
Let's make even more Death Battle. So thank you for being a champion. All right, the combatants are
I don't know,
set,
I'm gonna
and
go
we
with-
run the data through all possibilities.
It's
Maybe
time for a death battle!
Sakito, I already say his name. But I feel like Matito. Damn! Ooh, I love the animation.
In these parts, my organization is going to tear this putrid world down around us. We could use a freak of your talents.
Little old me. Do I want to be king of the social rejects? How about I bring them your head instead?
Fine by me. Let's call this your audition. Sick 'em. Game over.
That's what you think.
Did you actually just see that? God, how lame!
Now my man tried to kiss him. Ooh. Oh, I thought he was like... Oh, yeah, he's getting overwhelmed.
Audition over. Did I get the part? Decay!
Oh, okay. Both going to their final form. Just so disgusting.
Domain expansion. I can read your soul. You're just a scared little boy whose daddy was mean and wants to make it everyone else's problem. Grow up.
Hands off my masterpiece. I felt your soul too. You only hate humanity because you were born that way. Totally random. I hate them for a reason.
I heard my man running with one hand. I'm asleep.
You grow up.
Alright, I believe this is Mahito.
What did I say, Wiz? Like a bitch.
With
Yeah,
their
you
complex
ran like
power
a
sets,
bitch.
this match was a puzzle to figure out, which is why we're breaking it down to 3 categories: physical stats, survivability, and their powers.
But first, let's address one thing. Could Shigaraki even see Mahito? He's an invisible curse after all.
Cursed
Yeah,
energy and
other
quirks are
demons can see
notably
demons.
different, and Shigaraki wouldn't be able to see curses normally. However, even regular humans can spontaneously develop the ability to see curses in life and death scenarios.
Yeah.
And with the search quirk, Shigaraki would have had no problem tracking it.
So seeing Mahito wouldn't have been an issue. With that out of the way, we can jump into their stats.
This was no contest. Despite the disaster curses being able to destroy entire cities with their cursed
wait.
energy, Shigaraki scaling to Deku and Bakugo meant he was calculably millions of times stronger.
He was faster too, considering he could react to light beams, while Mahito's Black Flash capped out at nearly 1,000 times the speed of sound. Nothing to scoff at, but Shiggy was thousands of times faster. Shigaraki takes stats.
But survivability was a little trickier to figure out.
Yep, in terms of raw durability, Shigaraki was a lot tougher, and his ability to generate new flesh meant that he could heal any wounds he might receive super easy.
However,
So I
Mahito
said
is a
Shigaraki-
curse and is immune to the
But I
kind
should
of
have thought about
overwhelming
that.
physical damage Shigaraki could
And
dish
wait,
out.
Mahito.
Not only that, Mahito's regenerative ability
Because how
via
he ran
idle
away,
transfiguration
probably gonna
meant
use
that
that
he'd come
against
back from anything short of spiritual damage.
Considering Mahito's unique curse body, he should actually get the edge in survivability.
Which presents a crucial question. Could Shigaraki even kill a curse like Mahito in the first place?
Or would Mahito's unkillability give him the time he needed to eventually
Oh,
put
so I was
Shiggy
right.
down with
Shut-
idle
shut-
transfiguration?
It all comes down to their powers.
Shigaraki had a lot more variety with all of the crazy
I was right.
quirks all for
Shigaraki-
one had
Shigaraki
collected
did
over all
win.
the years.
Okay.
But none that we know of
'Cause I was
could
gonna go
properly kill a
Mahito.
curse. That didn't mean
So
idle
Mahito is the one
transfiguration
from
was
My
a
Hero.
surefire bet either, though.
Of all things, Shigaraki's vestiges served as a spiritual shield from the effects of idle transfiguration. The fact that Mahito could not avoid targeting Sukuna while attacking
Sukuna.
Yuji meant that he couldn't target specific souls inside a person.
And Shiggy has hundreds of soul-like entities inside of him. Sure, each one down means he loses a quirk, but that's more than enough time to land a single hit with Decay, especially
That's all I
considering
was
how
right.
much
Okay.
faster Shiggy is.
And Mahito has
'Cause I was-
no
I was
way
getting
to
confused
defend
for a
against
minute.
Shigaraki's primary quirk. Decay has
'Cause I
affected
went
spiritual
Shaki.
beings in the past. Again, vestiges. In fact, he was able to
keep butchering
damage
that.
Deku's vestige and have that damage transferred to the Deku in the real world.
Mahito may be made of spirit energy, but he still has a physical form. In fact, sorcerers that couldn't naturally target the soul were able to fight him on even footing. No reason to think Shiggy wouldn't decay him like everyone else.
Giving Shigaraki the third and final edge. It was a unique duel to the death, but Shigaraki's overwhelming might unstoppable.
Here, I'll let y'all can pause it and read it.
Powers and deadly decay spelled the end for the disaster curse.
Nothing else to say. You really gotta hand it to Shigaraki.
The winner is Tomura Shigaraki.
Next time on Death
All right, what's our
Battle.
next one? Off space. Oh, Mr. Chief.
Subscribe and join as a member to see more Death Battle.
Oh, Master Chief and Doomslayer. I've never seen Doomslayer before. No, I have seen clips of Doomslayer, but I never played it. Master Chief. I've never played Master Chief, but I watched somebody play it. It looks like it's a cool game. I watched the TV show that was on Prime, which was actually a good. So I'm going with Master Chief in this one. I want to thank y'all for coming by. React or London Alucard reacts. Trying to get back slowly getting back into doing reactions and gameplay, but it's going to be harder and harder. But I'm trying to make it work. So I'm gonna get back into doing like how I used to do with the death battles, where I used to do like the 1 minute storyline where they talk about it, like the little small clips, and then do the reaction, because I've been falling off of that lately. So I'm gonna get better. I'm gonna try to get better at doing it. And then I got a lot of videos that I'm trying to record and do, from the Pokemon to the Nintendo Switch trailer to the new Superman trailer that just come out. So bear with me, and your Vampire King is gonna deliver. And that's being said, all y'all have to do to help your boy out is to bite that like button, bite that subscribe button, become a member of the Vampire Army, because all we are is in a feeding frenzy for blood. And your boy is at 228 subscribers on the main channel, London VK Alucard. Trying to reach 230. If your boy hit 230, I'll be doing another cherry challenge, but I might switch it up and do a different one. But I might do the cherry challenge again. Let me know in the comments if y'all want me to do a different Ollie Moonshine, or do y'all want me to do a cherry challenge again? Let me know. Because I'm thinking about making that for a video for Marvel Rivals. They're supposed to be coming out with, they already came out with the Black Panther vampire crossover between the two, and then we're supposed to be getting Blade. Once they drop Blade, because I'm playing Marvel Rivals, I want to get Blade, and I want to get that Black Panther vampire crossover, and I want to get some content out for it. But I also want to get, even though Multiverse is dying, they're canceling Multiverse again, I want to get Marceline, so I can get a little clips of that, playing that game too. Because I'm not gonna lie, Multiverse was actually fun. It's just they just couldn't deliver all the way on their stuff. Hopefully they come back, but I doubt that they come back again, because this is their second comeback. But you never know. Like they always say in baseball, 3 strikes, then you're out. Would y'all let me know in the comments, would y'all want Multiverse to come back again? Or would y'all just want it to just die out completely? Let me know in the comments below. And it's been your boy, the Vampire King himself, London Alucard, and we out of here.